Today we are talking about, in our vulnerability chapter,
It's story time. Story time with Jerome Shaw.
as we turn the page, we unfold the next chapter of vulnerability. It's story time. Welcome to day 7. Beyond virtual victory. I created a blog, an article, a blog post that you can see. If you would like to see that, DM me, I'll send it to you. But it's called Beyond Virtual Victory. And I wrote this at a vulnerable time in my life because it is a vulnerable piece of the puzzle that is Jerome Shaw. And hey, Samaj, thank you for joining. Thank you for being live. Hashtag live or hashtag replay if you're here. And Beyond Virtual Victory, for me, speaks of an addiction. Now, we all know that addiction doesn't have to be to the substances that we know of, right? Almost anything can be, an addiction, right? So everything in moderation, everything with temperance, but too much of anything is not always good, right? You may like bananas, but you eat bananas all day long, and too many bananas, that's a potassium overload, right? You may love drinking water, but too much of a good thing. You drink gallons and gallons without stopping, it's not good. You could suffocate. Your lungs could fill up, right? So anything can be, and thank you for joining, Jay Ty. I appreciate you. Back to back, bro. Yo, Jay is on it today, man. Back to back lives. I appreciate the support and the love, brother. So, my drug of choice, my addiction that I was definitely just on the deep end, if you want to call it, of the pool. And I'm not talking about the kiddie pool. I'm talking about the big one, the ocean. I was in the deep end, right? Unable to get out, swimming, did not see shore, could not see land, did not see any life rafts or lifeboats, right? Was video games. Could you believe it? Jerome, addicted to video games. Yes, my friend. Yes. I can admit that, and I can smile knowing that it is a part of me. And as I share this to you, perhaps you resonate with this. Perhaps there's something in your life where you had felt such a deep connection to it, but it was an overly deep connection. It was something that went past and it went into unknown territory, right? Uncharted waters. It went further than you ever expected or realized it would go. And by the time you were out there in the ocean, in the water, and there was no one else who seemed to be around who could save you, it was too late. It was too late. The riptide, the current had pulled you out and you had no idea where you were going, right? Where you were being led. So in my life, video games, there were times where I would be at work thinking about being back at home playing these video games. I would be at my job thinking about video games. I would be driving to the grocery store thinking about video games. I would be, anywhere I would be at any time, my mind would be saturated with this. I became obsessed, right? I would look up the games that were upcoming. I would look at reviews. I would look at developer, reviews, developer talks, presentations. I would just build myself up with anticipation for the next game because I was so invested in that world, that virtual world. And this is why I called this episode of the story of vulnerability of day 7 of the 30 days of awesomeness. This is why I called it Beyond Virtual Victory, because I had victory inside the game world. I achieved so many great things, right? But it was in my mind. And it was in that world. In front of the TV, just building my characters, right? And this is not a knock to anyone who plays video games. I love video games. Trust me. You put me in front of one today, you're going to see a different me. There's video games that I know that I have to, just kind of give a wide berth, a nice little distance, because I understand how addictive that quality is on me. So it's not that I bash them, because all technology, I believe, just like social media, Facebook, video games, TV, what have you, all sources of technology, I believe, are neutral. They are neither good nor bad, but it is how we use them that matters. It is in the ways that we use them individually that affects us for good or bad. So the technology itself is neutral. It's not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. It's not hurting anybody. But it is how we use it. Are we using it effectively? Are we using it to our advantage, or are we using it as it was not intended? Thank you for being live. Thank you, K Faith. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Hashtag live if you're live, hashtag replay if you're on the replay. So I'm just really just seeping in here. I don't even have many notes because this is something I can talk off the top of my head here. When I was invested in that video game world, in that virtual world, it was as if life stood still, even though time was passing me by. There were times when I was so deep inside this video game world, this virtual reality, right? That I could go outside, I could open the door, I could go outside, and the world wouldn't even seem real to me. I'm talking about the world, like the actual world felt pixelated. It felt grainy. It felt distorted. It felt like unreal because I was so glued to that television. I was so glued to that video game set. I became my avatar. I became the character that I had designed. Instead of designing the life that I was actually living, the life out here, I was designing my life in there. And I was fantasizing about the next time that I would get to play these games. I was fantasizing, dreaming about the next time that I would get to role play and play in the world and explore the vast regions, the lands, conquering my demons in these video game worlds. I would dream about these things. And I am in a place now where I can tell you that. But I was not in a place where I could speak on these things a while back. Thank you for being live. Thank you for being here, Wendell Gray. Thank you. And I really just want to express my truth, because if anyone has ever felt what it's like to be off on the deep end, feeling like there's no way out, I would play these video games from sun up to sundown. I'm talking about forsaking the restroom, forsaking sleep, forsaking food, forsaking anything that you can think of. I would it would be of no consequence, right? It didn't matter what it was. This is why I say that an addiction can come in many forms. So this was my drug of choice. This was for me, this was like what I injected myself with, that feel-good feeling of the epic win, right? You get the epic win. You finally, and to everybody on the outside who sees you playing that game, at times you may look zombified, right? You don't know how you're looking because you're inside the television. You're inside the TV. You are your character. But to everybody on the outside, what they see is they see a lifeless soul, a shell in a body. And so, and this is especially if you're not playing with others. Like if you're playing video games, just one-player games, I'm an only child, so that's what I did a lot. And I mean, not even to mention the times where I found my friends online, which actually in a funny way prepared me for being a part of these groups. Because I would play computer games, RPGs like World of Warcraft. Actually, you know what? I didn't even get into World of Warcraft. I was prevented from getting that game because somebody at GameStop told me if I bought that game, I would never come back. And I didn't buy it. but I bought City of Heroes and different RPGs, MMO RPGs. They call them massive multiplayer online role-playing games, right? And I was massively invested in these online games, right? So I know I digress, but I'm just speaking from the heart here. I'm just speaking my truth and really just venting. This is like therapy for me because it's letting me know how far I've come. There was a time not too long ago, a couple months ago, when I was in California, and my aunt, she saw me playing a game with one of my cousins. And it had been a long time since I touched a controller. And she said, Daniel, because Daniel's my middle name. She said, Daniel, you still know how to play video games? I was shocked. I was like, what? Like, don't you know who I am? But it was a measure of my progress. It was someone who had seen how far I came. They saw that I was able to let go that which had me shackled, right? I was able to let something go that was a part of me, that was a piece of me that I identified myself with. So she saw it as progress, and we both shared a laugh together, right? So I understand that there were times when I would play from sunup to sundown, ignoring life, ignoring all my responsibilities, all my priorities, ignoring. Not even knowing that time was passing me by. And guess what? I can never get that time back. The time is gone. It's gone forever. But we cannot go back and make a new beginning, but we can start from today and make a brand new ending. So this is my message to you. I knew that I had to change. I knew that I was deeply investing my time, my money, and my energy into something that was not serving me. In the grand scheme of things, me leveling up in this game world wasn't leveling me up in real life. So I knew that something had to change, something had to give. And so I heard a message. Somebody said, don't do what you love, right? Because if I did what I loved sincerely, I would be in my drawers, I would be playing video games right now. I wouldn't be talking to you. If I did what I loved, I would be upstairs, I would be playing video games. Instead, when I came back here, I sold all of them. I took a whole tray full of video games. I went to the old video game store and I sold them all. No lie. I wasn't even planning to tell you that, but just to be transparent, I had to let that weight go, and it was such a burden, such a weight lifted for me to know that I could just give this all away. To the things that I clutched, that I held on to, that I held dear. What was I holding them on to for? Now someone else can enjoy them, right? Someone else can be able to play them, right? And can have the joy that I used to feel. But I knew that something had to change. So don't do what you love. If I did what I loved, I'd be upstairs, I'd be playing video games, I'd just be glued up to the TV forever and ever. Amen, right? It said, love what you do. That's the difference. Love what you do. Don't do what you love. Love what you do. I hope that speaks to you, my friend. I really do hope that speaks to you. I hope that resonates, and I hope you gain value from that. I hope it penetrated and pierced a place in your heart for anything that you have ever felt addicted to, unable to escape, unable to find a way out. So I pray that you have a wonderful day, my friend. I pray that your day is exceptional from here on, and be well, be blessed. Comment below any nuggets. Just share anything that you would like to share that you got from this, or anything that you felt hit you in a certain way that made you reminisce of your life. Share it, because somebody in the community would definitely love to hear it. And I would love to hear it, because I will be seeing you down in the comments section. So thank you for your presence, your energy, your love, and your light. I appreciate you as I reflect on this, and as I've just vented and just gave this out. So we will see you tomorrow for day 8 on another day of awesomeness in our vulnerability chapter. Take care. Be well.